on it.
All right, you are all unmuted.
Oh.
Welcome.
Hermaeus Mora.
Tentacles.
That's all I got.
Tentacles everywhere and not a drop to drink. So welcome everybody. I'm the DM here. My name is Obsidia, the everybody's favorite Death Knight, and I am the creator of this campaign, Eberron Ashes of the Last War. So, as is tradition, we're going to go round the table, everybody doing their introductions and announcements if they have any, and then we will do a brief session recap and just hop right into it. I am a little sick, so I am going to do my best, but just keep that in mind. So, first up, we have our local tentacle enthusiast, Paige the Mage. Let's go.
Okay, the introduction wasn't supposed to come with a call out, but hello everyone. My name is Illya. I am an elven princess knight from the Daikon Kingdom, but in this campaign I play Paige, the time wizard. Woo! So I do a lot of RPGs on my channel, do a lot of Dungeons and Dragons with these wonderful people, and always happy to be here. Thank you so much.
Always happy to have you. Thank you, Yulia. Next up, we got Illya.
Hi, my name is Lily. Tonight I am playing Illya. I don't have much in the way of announcements or anything, so just trying to keep on keeping on and doing our very best. So, yeah, that's about all I got.
Thank you, Lily. Next up, we have Euphoria.
Hello, everyone. I'm Maris, and I play Euphoria Cox, everyone's favorite pink MILF. And guess what, y'all? I'm graduating from IRL human school next week, so that hopefully means more time in my life for streaming activities. How about that? So I'm really hoping, so I'm really hoping in the near future to get back on that content creator grind. But in the meantime, I'm always happy to be here playing D&D with my friends, and yeah, that's it for me.
Absolute poggers.
Yep, we call that a straight poggers moment, which is one of the few times you will hear straight ever used in this stream.
So true.
But thank you. It's going to be very hyped for you to be liberated from academia and put back into the content mines.
So excited.
Next up, we have your pal, Malral.
Hey, I'm Little the Bronze. I am a DM for both Dungeons and Dragons and Pathfinder. Working on a new game, which will be, if you haven't seen the promo for it, will be in about 2 weeks, coming up on a Saturday, 29th, I believe, at noon. So keep an eye out for that. It's going to be over on my friend's channel, Azura. Other than that, will be here, being, the big old blacksmith daddy, Malral.
You'd love to see. You should definitely go check that out. Is that the Lizard Spire that's on Azura's channel?
Yes, that's right.
Okay, I just want to make sure. But yes, you guys should go check that out. It is very hype. It is a homebrew world by Litro using Pathfinder 2e. There are a lot of very good beans who are going to be playing in it. It should be a heckin' good time. Definitely go check them out. And last but never least, we have our favorite mess, Cess.
Hi there, it's me, Cess, rips off mask. It's actually me, Sif, living suit of armor VTuber. I've been doing nothing but art streams recently, so I'll try to do a game this week that isn't FF14. Aside from that, same old, love you guys and all that stuff. Don't gotta say it back.
No, you should play 14.
The critically acclaimed?
The critically acclaimed.
I need to play more of that too. I got my dragoon armor, but not my helmet yet.
Ooh.
Disgraceful. Clearly, you need to serve Square Enix to a greater capacity.
Or I just need to get 5 more levels so I can do the next job quest.
But yes, thank you, Sif. Yes, we've been loving those Sif art streams. Many many rockin' babes have been arted. But thank you, everybody. So previously on Eberron, Ashes of the Last War, our party found themselves at a festive gala on Fay Day, this world's comparison to Halloween, where they were invited to a masquerade party by the Raven Queen, where they got to experience what were potentially lost or trapped souls perpetually across time, mingling in a party atmosphere as smooth jazz played in the background, and they were served by various Fey beings. People made their rounds. Malral danced with a ancient woman. Sess got lost in an eternal set of hallways in the Shadowfell before returning to the main room. Lily and not Lily. Illya and Euphoria decided to mingle with the crowds, meeting Julius Caesar as well as what was it? They met Genghis Khan, who was a very dashing orc who fought some demons back in the day, and basically they got some insight to that everybody here was kind of trapped here. They were either dead or they had been taken at a point in time before their deaths so that they could be contained by the Raven Queen. Then the party was as Euphoria and Illya talked to the various Fey Knights and learned that the Wild Hunt does not attend, therefore Jubilee would not be there. Illya got skill issued by the Knight of the Winter Court for basically having her family and husband get killed, and by being mortal. But, you know, she did extend the offer that you could correct that at any time and embrace eternity. And before she could, learn more information, they were escorted to meet the Raven Queen herself, who made a dramatic entrance and proceeded to be way too handsy with everybody, and also showing them brutal and gruesome ways to die that they got to experience firsthand, as she proceeded to fondle them and inquire about a potential business opportunity for them, wherein if they told her a story that she had not heard before, she would tell them their future. But the party declined, and so with that, she decided to take some joy out of the misfortune that they will walk into uninformed, and disappeared and had them leave the party a few days in the past from when they had gone into the party in the first place. So as opposed to the Fey Wilds, where you lose time going forward, in the Shadowfell you lose time going backwards when you return to real space, which is a nice fun thing. And Ikashi, the Prince of Cats, informed them that the Raven Queen would take care of their previous version, so not to worry. And with that, the party returned to their home domestic life, a bit worse for wear, and Sess decided to organize a game of a shifter sports game at a park and field that she had become the benefactor for, secret benefactor, definitely not Sess, wherein all the children that Flame Bearer Rain and Yen takes care of were gathered together. Sess tried to explain the basics of the rules to all of the non-shifters in the party, who interpreted it in wildly different ways, and formed a three-way free-for-all of Kaisha and Euphoria and Malral to battle for supremacy with their children. And in the end, Malral came out on top, in both a figurative and literal sense. While this was going on, Sess had an emotional breakdown talking to Ray about how she felt like she was dying, and in the future she was probably going to die sooner rather than later. And what was the point of even keeping on? Because every time she loved somebody, they always leave her and hurt her. And Ray tried to, in as much of a way as Ray can, considering her personality, she tried to be supportive and give insight into that ultimately what matters is kind of like what you put out into the world. and you shouldn't be so fixated on the immediacy of your heartbreak, but rather what you would do for love going forward. This then led into Cess and Euphoria having kind of a heart to heart talking about Jubilee and their experiences with her and their both shared sense of loss at her departure for the Feywilds. And with that, we ended there because the next set of stuff is a lot of page shenanigans, and I felt like that needed its own new start. So, without further ado, we begin with your pal Malral. I believe there was something you wanted to do with a certain kitty.
Oh, yeah. Let's see. I would like to see if I can't go and find her real quick.
Paige, what are you doing as a large bellied dragonborn looks for you?
Is she eating it again?
Oh, my mic is being funny. I'm sorry.
I was just insulting you in front of your salad.
Yeah, it's fine. No, so she would probably be probably seated at the dinner table with, a few books strewn about, probably journaling of some kind.
Or Charlie Day conspiracy board.
Getting her thoughts together, learning how to, at least.
All right. Malral will approach, give a friendly wave and smile as he does so.
Oh, hi. Uh, how are you doing? Are you hungry?
No, actually, I wanted to talk to you.
Oh, me? Oh, of course. She starts like trying to put her things away a little bit. Like, yeah, of course. What is there anything I can help you with?
Maybe. I'm not quite sure. Uh, could we perhaps do this in a more private area?
Oh, yes, of course. Is my room all right?
Oh, suffice.
Okay, yeah, sure. Then, come on. I'll lead you there. And she puts the rest of her stuff and tucks it under her arm and starts heading towards her room.
Malral will hastily follow behind, grabbing an orange on the way up.
Okay. So what was it you wanted to to talk about?
Before our last mission, you talked about seeing visions of one's past.
Mm,
Can you
well,
still do that?
um, yes, I think so. It sort of kind of happens very sporadically. I'm not. I don't really intend to initiate it, but I've been at least trying to be able to. Are you trying to look at something from the past?
He gets a bit more of a serious look on his face rather than his constant joking smirk that he usually has. Uh, yes. Some old memories of my family. You know, back when the war was still raging, I oftentimes got called out, and I had to leave quickly. I didn't always have time to say my farewells.
See,
I The last time I was with them was one of those times. I suppose this heavy heart just wants to see them one more time so I can properly say goodbye.
Okay.
If that is too much, I understand.
No, not at all. I want to do everything I can to help you. Not that I can say much for myself. The last time I visited the past a couple of times, but it's mostly just looking. I wouldn't try to change anything. You know that, right? At least not right now.
I wouldn't be able to change anything, I don't think. Even if I could, it would do little.
Okay. Okay. Yes, then I'll help you.
Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, I know what it's like losing family.
You and Cess were orphaned as youngs, weren't you?
Yes, we were. So, but I mean, we've had each other. It's been back and forth a bit, but yeah. I can sympathize with you, so let's try. But you're sure, right? This is something you really want to do?
He thinks it over a bit more. You can tell he was a bit unsure coming here, unsure even if you could even do it. But now that the option is in front of him, he's almost hesitating a bit.
I think so. I want to see them once more. I want to be able to properly say goodbye.
Like I said, I've never really done this voluntarily, so I'm sorry if it doesn't work out, but I'm gonna really try.
He gives you a sure smile.
If you could do it accidentally. If you can create a dagger accidentally, then with a little bit of effort, I don't see why you can't make a sword.
I mean, it takes a lot of components, but make a dagger. I'm no expert, not yet, but okay. Why don't you have a seat on the bed then?
All right, then.
He kind of like pats it down, not wanting to wrinkle it too bad. Then sits down.
Well, I've done it. I've just sort of a physical contact, so you don't mind if I like touch you, right?
Depending on where.
Just no word like that. Please, just like a hug. Oh.
It's fine. The shoulder's fine.
Okay. Okay. Dang it. Okay. She's gonna. Whew, she'll walk over then, and instead of like putting a hand on his shoulder, she'll kind of take her hands and cup his face a little bit, and press her forehead up to his. Kind of close her eyes and try to concentrate.
Okay. As you begin to concentrate, you feel like a tension in the air around you. In a way of there is a lot more resistance than the previous spontaneous times that it has occurred. Um, and you feel like one of the most difficult things right now is actually focusing on Malral in the present and trying to establish an arcane union to bring him into his own past. Um, so it's very much like you pushing against, a invisible barrier that is very elastic and trying to prevent him from coming along with it, but with a exertion of mental willpower, you were able to uh, basically pull him and you into kind of an aether space inside of him. And Malral, this is all very surreal for you. As you feel very helpless, is probably the best way to describe it. As Paige is basically magically extracting you from you. And as you continue to kind of push through this just blackened sea of rubber, you are finally feeling a snapping sensation. And you see that there is a forge surrounding you. And this is very strange because it feels like you are having dual vision right now. You see the image of the forge and the colors and what's going on and certain smells and stuff, but then you also have juxtaposed over that is what you could only guess is Malral's perception of the forge from when it had existed at that point in time. And so the scents are different coming from him than what you're experiencing. The colors are brighter coming from him, and it's this constant jockeying between the two images and sensations in your mind as you perceive it. And there's constantly like a rippling at the edges of both of your visions as you look at this. And I'll give you a moment to adjust. Anything you want to say as you enter this description?
Like his reaction, or do you want me to describe the room at all?
Yeah, you can do both, I guess.
Right. His reaction upon going into an ether space is very strange because for him, the only way he can kind of put into words how he feels is like when you take a huge dump and you feel like you lost 50 pounds
Oh my god.
and you just feel lighter. Then he's having like dual vision. He's kind of like getting a bit of a headache and he has to like close his own eyes partly so he can focus more on the memory's eyes and just slightly look through. And upon seeing into this memory, almost, I guess you could say, is the past, he does not fit in that workshop very well at all. In fact, most of the things are much too small for him. Tiny forge, tiny anvil, tiny tools, and he's using mostly just his thumb and forefingers for everything. And even he's hunched over because he's too. If he stands up, his head will hit into the roof. This workshop is definitely made for someone much smaller than him. But he does look younger, less scars, less thorns, and even less of a gut.
So, Paige, you get the unique experience of seeing young Malral juxtaposed over present day Malral. Like it's almost like a hologram projected around him. So he'll move and you'll get that echo sensation as the present day one has to align with the movements of the past version.
Goodness, it worked. I can't believe it. But Malbrow, just a warning as well. When I went into the past, make sure not to forget the future either.
What do you mean? This is all visual, isn't it?
I don't know. I'm not sure. The last time's not so much. Just if you need to, think of your anvil or your hammer from home. Just in case.
Okay.
As you look around, you hear a crashing sound of a whole bunch of metal objects falling on the ground, and a frightened yelp in response as you see from behind one of the like counters, you see a young goblin boy with the red scales on various parts of his face and hands. His hair is that kind of long red like Malral's, and his eyes are actually orange, seemingly a combination of yellow eyes of Malral and the native red eyes of most goblinoids. And he's like, "Oh no! Oh, Daddy's gonna be so mad."
Malral would have quickly turned around and called out, Jiro? Jiro! What happened? Having to crawl mostly on his knees to get through the workshop. Are you okay? I told you to stay away from that powder, it can burn.
No, it's fine, Daddy, it's fine. And you're like kind of frantically trying to push something out of sight.
Oh, that's all right. As long as you didn't break anything, like, oh, there's like a pair of tongs that if you break, they'll just explode after 5 minutes.
What? And you notice for a second, your son like looks at you, and he kind of looks at you strangely for a moment, but then he kind of just shakes it off, and he goes, happy to see you, Daddy." And he runs up and he tries to leap onto you.
Glad to see you too. That is past Malral speaking, but present Malral is very silent as he's watching this.
I wanted to try and get something done for you, but I just, everything's fine. Everything is totally fine.
Well, if I don't hear any explosions, I know you're telling the truth.
You hear an explosion in the background. Wow, what a coincidence!
I was joking about the explosion. I don't even know what that was.
Well, I'm just as shocked as you are. Maybe Mommy was doing something. I don't know. We should probably go somewhere else. Go investigate other potential places.
Malral opens up the closet, sees the mess inside. His eyes grow wide as he quickly just takes a bucket full of just like sawdust and just throws it in there to try and quench whatever is about chemical reaction might be about to happen.
You hear a sizzling sound and then silence.
Slow head turned towards his son.
He looks back as nothing else explodes. He turns and he gives you a big, like, serrated teeth smile.
Chiro, I can't stay mad at you. Goes ahead, picks him up onto his shoulder as he starts to crawl out of the shop.
You then see when you leave the shop and you hear from the kitchen another voice, trying to call out to you, and she goes, Malral, is everything all right over there?
looks over at Chiro. Sees just looking at his like reaction to hearing his mother.
You see sweat drops forming. I heard an explosion.
Yeah, everything was perfectly fine. I was just teaching Chiro about a few chemical reactions, perfectly safe, behind cover.
You see another goblin face pop out from behind like a door frame with braided, long black hair, and her red eyes are squinting dubiously at Malral and her son. And she goes, "Is that right?"
Yes, definitely. Totally not lying to cover up for something he did.
Oh, that's very good, because if you were lying to cover up for something he did, you know that he wouldn't be getting any dessert tonight, and you know that I did spend all day making this special birthday cake.
But we wouldn't want that to go to waste now, would we, Chiro?
Of course not! Why would we want to waste
cut
cake?
out there.
Well, then, assuming you both were doing totally responsible things, you should probably go wash up for dinner.
Looks down at his soot-covered hands and then looks up at Chiro, probably covered in soot as well after a tiny explosion.
Yep.
Let's get you cleaned up before your mother sees you. Oh, that almost reminds me too. I was working on something for your birthday.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Now, I don't know if you want to be just like your old man or not, but he pulls out a very tiny hammer that realistically couldn't really do anything. It's more of a toy than anything, but it's in the shape of a blacksmith hammer.
His eyes light up as he gazes upon this hammer. My own hammer?
Mm-hmm. You know, I was your age when Papa Smith would go ahead and teach me how to do everything.
Really? And you're like the greatest smith ever!
I think your grandpa would have something to say about that.
Well, I never met Granddad, but I know that if he taught you, then he must have been really good as well.
Oh yeah, he was the best. He taught me to go from bones and sticks to the metal you see before you.
Paige.
Goes ahead, puts him down in front of the water tin.
Okay. Paige, you noticed as Malral and his son left the room, his wife kind of did another strange look at him as he departed, before she kind of shook her head and went back to doing what she was doing in the kitchen.
She definitely clocks that.
Yeah. And so your son is, like, okay, well, does this mean I'm gonna start learning how to be a smith like you, Daddy?
You know what? How about starting tomorrow? I'll go ahead and I'll start teaching you.
I want to make so many cool stuff. I want to make swords to slay dragons, and I'm gonna make a big shield so I can keep you and Mommy safe.
I look forward to it. But we're going to be starting off with something simple first, all right? We're just going to be using some leatherworking.
Oh, the leatherworking's so smelly.
Well, if it wasn't for leatherworking, then everyone would chafe and have a horrible time. Metal hurts, you know.
I want to make, like, plate mail or like, trains.
I think you're a bit new for that. Not even I can do trains.
That's crazy.
And once washed up, starts to go in. President Malral still very silent and is mostly just watching.
Paige is gonna actually turn to him and are you doing okay?
He's so small. I almost forget how small he was.
You had a beautiful family, Malral. So sorry.
Could still be alive today. I never even got to teach him how to make his own dagger.
Hesitantly will put a hand on his shoulder.
You
I
you
couldn't
all
even
hear it.
share in this birthday cake with him.
What was it, Obsidian?
I'm saying you hear a door open and something being said by his wife as the two are cleaning, and then you hear the door kind of slam shut afterwards. But continue.
We were all about to sit down when news came in.
New?
Malral, honey, I need to talk to you.
Minerva, he, present self can't help but call out. But he quickly quiets again as he just watches the memory.
She
Oh,
she does
what
turn
is it?
briefly to look at present Malral before like kind of shaking her head and looking back to past Malral.
What is it? What's up? He
Um,
can stand up at his full height now that he's actually in a proper house.
we a courier just came from the army. She holds out a letter.
Past Malral's face just instantly drops as he takes the letter and opens it up and starts to read.
It informs you that due to severe casualties suffered on the Karnathi front, you are being immediately called into service and will have to depart tomorrow to take a lightning rail to join up with your unit.
This is ridiculous. My own son's birthday.
What is it, honey?
They're calling me out again.
Cinnamon, you said that the last time was gonna be the last. You were done with your service.
Well, apparently they're taking too many casualties. They need another medic on the field.
Can't someone else go? You just settled back in.
There aren't enough that know how to work Warforged and heal the wounds of flesh. They need someone that can do both.
What about Kirill? We were supposed to start teaching him.
It will probably just be another week at most.
You keep saying that. The last time was for a whole year.
It's just a simple deployment. It looks to be just outside the boundaries. And then after that skirmish is done, I can come back. Trust me, I'm going to be raising hell at the offices today.
She puts her little goblin hand on your hand, and she looks up at you with those big, big red eyes and goes, "But we need you here."
I know, and I'll be here. But this country took my whole tribe in, and I gotta repay that. So if they need me for just another week, I'll do it. This war can't last forever, after all. And I'll make sure that I can at least get a long leave before they have to try and drag me out again. I'm going to teach my son, and I'm going to spend some much needed time with you.
She kind of nuzzles against him and goes, "Every time you say that, it gets harder, Cinnamon."
Goes ahead and picks her up, wraps her in a hug. It's like, I know. Trust me, my little flame. I'll be back. Why don't you go ahead and get started on dinner? I'm going to go ahead and head to the office, see if I can't push it back another day or two.
All right. All right. And she hops down out of your arms and starts walking back to start getting stuff together. And she yells, like, clearly pushing back some tears, Hero, please start putting out all the plates and set things up for dinner." And he goes, "Okay, Mommy." And he comes scampering across the room, holding his little hammer.
President Malral, looks over at Paige and just goes, I can't change anything, right?
I think that I'm working towards. I tried doing it before, but I mean, what are you trying to do?
I want to stay for dinner. But if I can't even do that, I'll settle for just saying one extra phrase.
Considers, and considering how badly she wants to change the past and the future, she will nod her head a little bit. You should. Whatever you need to make yourself feel better.
As past Malral is starting to walk away, President Malral kind of tries to wrestle a bit of control, turns back and calls, Minerva! Jiro!
Your voice sounds strange. As Minerva kind of like comes out holding a pot as Kiro's putting down plates and silverware and stuff.
Kind of kneels down a bit, looking down at both of them. I just wanted to say, I love you both so much.
You see Minerva look at you for a moment, and her eyes get like 3 sizes wider as she drops the pot. Cinnamon?
I love you so much.
What happened to you?
He kind of looks curiously, looks down at himself and sees that his present self is starting to take over a bit more than it probably should. Giving Paige's warning, he knows he needs to step away.
She
Just looks up at Minerva once more and just goes, "A lot. But just know that I love you."
she comes running over to you and grabs your arm and goes, "No, don't leave. Not like this."
I already have. I can't change that. But all I know I can do is simply just say how you make me feel. How much you are my world.
Paige, you notice the sides of your vision begin rippling more. And she holds you as she looks into your eyes. And you notice that her eyes begin to gray a bit as she looks at you. And she goes, "No, don't leave. Don't leave. You have to stay with us. We're your family."
I want to so bad. But I can't. Just remember what I said. And before Malral can feel any more pain, he forces himself away from the memory.
You see as she tries to come after you, her skin begins peeling back, and the gray cloudiness in her eyes turns into these kind of misty, screaming faces that Paige immediately recognizes as morning sickness from what Sylvana's father suffered when she met him. And
I'm going to quickly turn,
yeah,
cast command, and just say, "Stay."
Malral,
And start to fade away.
Please make a wisdom save.
Okay. Pull up the old character sheet. Didn't know I was going to need it today. 24.
Yeah, you notice that definitely the more you interact with, you see your house just beginning to get consumed by some kind of like misty, cloudy smoke as you see the furniture begin to twist and mutate and some of it dissolve into many colors and eyes begin appearing out of the walls as Minerva and Kiro begin to just peel back, much like that scene when Sarah Connor looks at the nuclear explosion in the second movie as it hits the playground, as if they're getting hit by something that is happening rapidly at once before your eyes as you try to separate from the memory, and as much as it's trying to pull you in based on your interactions. Paige, you are the stagecoach for this. Could you also please make a wisdom save?
Well, yeah. I should do that. Okay. Wisdom save.
All right. With a 20, you are able to end that memory before it starts projecting more onto Malral and you by association. You are now in the void. Do you wish to try and regain the present?
Yes, she's gonna try to think back to before when she was with her father. She's gonna think back to the crossbow that Sess had given her. And kind of try to concentrate.
Okay. Malral, you see Paige begin to like fade away from your vision. What do you do?
Malral will reach out to her and try and like hold her hand and try and go along with her.
Paige, you see Malral trying to kind of grab you to go with you, but he's just passing through you.
She tries reaching for him. Is what's going on? Malral, can you hear me?
Can I hear her?
You only hear a few, odd letters out of her sentence, as if she is speaking very far away, and your reception is getting weaker.
What's going on? How do I get back?
The object, the hammer.
Paige, please make another wisdom saving throw. God damn, you are on fire. Paige, you could actually utter that phrase before you return to the present. And Malral, you hear that one phrase before she fully disappears.
Malral will focus on his most recent creation, that being the necklace he gave Illya.
Okay. And as you focus on that, please make one more wisdom saving throw, Malral.
All right.
Not one time. Oh,
Natural
unironically
one.
that
Natural
one. Unironically
My God,
that
you
one.
actually did. No.
Alrighty. Malral, you get the wonderful experience of you can't really focus. In fact, you actually lose focus on the present, and your memories, you begin to actually leave the void and get surrounded by a cornucopia of memories adjacent to you. So specifically, you see, much like you began to see as your own memory collapsed of the past, you see what is potentially the true version of events, where your wife and son are sitting in their house as a massive cloud goes towards their house, and she yells for him to go, into the cellar and stuff as she tries to go after him, and everything that this cloud touches just disappears into the void of the morning. And you now get to see in vivid detail as
I didn't see this. I don't want to see this.
You almost feel like you could reach out, and if you could just grab them, you could take them with you. As the cloud gets closer and closer, and you see the house begin to dissolve inside of the mist. And
He is very tempted to reach out to them, but he's trying to focus on the present, like Paige said, and he doesn't want to make any changes, like Paige says, because they're the expert, not him. And he's trying to put his emotions of the past behind him, and he's just trying to continuously focus, like, no, where was it? Where was it? Where was it? Where was it? Trying to focus on the present.
You do hear, Malral, please come save us.
I can't.
And you see her begin to disappear into the mist, holding Hero as they're just short of getting into the into the cellar.
No, Minerva.
And then you get to see just nothing but the mist as you go to your actual memory of when you looked at the morning for the first time after finishing your most recent battle, only to discover that Seer no longer existed. You see that swirling void of mist and smoke with faces, constantly appearing and disappearing in it. And you see Minerva and Kiro appear, and they seem to be mouthing Malral before they disappear back into the wall.
He just looks up at this, and you can see there are tears rolling down the sides of his muzzle.
And with that, you finally feel just the sensation of being pulled, not just in body but in very fiber of your being, as Paige is grabbing your shoulders, like trying to like shake you and stuff, as you see her face emerge from the wall before it materializes into being back in her room.
As soon as he has control of himself, he just like stands up. Just full panic in his eyes as tears are still streaming down.
I'm so sorry. I didn't mean for that to happen.
Why did it happen so soon? It shouldn't have been there for a few more days.
So soon? What are you talking about?
The fog, the mist, what tore them apart? I shouldn't have seen it. I shouldn't have.
It's okay.
His hands just go to his head as he's just trying to his temples, just trying to hold back whatever was just he saw in his mind.
It's over, though. It's over. It's okay.
Did any of that actually happen?
It's a vision of the past. It very well could have.
But it was too early.
The mist?
The morning. It didn't happen until after I was gone. But I saw it while they were still talking to me.
I couldn't see what you were looking at, but sorry. Maybe you're right. Maybe it was just I don't know. I still don't have a grasp on it. Sorry, but you're back now, and you're not hurt, right? Oh God.
I'm sorry, my mic is. I'm sorry. I don't mean to.
Oh no, you are hurt. Oh no.
He lost the ability to speak.
What did you say? I'm sorry.
She asked if you were hurt.
No, I'm fine. This was a bad idea on my part. I only caused more pain. Their faces were full of fear. I just wanted to say goodbye. I just wanted to tell them how I felt, and I only hurt them more.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done it. I apologize.
No, this isn't your fault. I asked you to do something when I didn't know the full repercussions behind it. It is my fault. I am sorry for asking you to do such.
Please don't apologize. At first that's the first time I've willingly been able to go into the past. I thought I could do it. I thought I could take us out safely. Sorry. I'll try much harder next time, though.
I don't think I want to do it next time.
Her ears kind of fall back a little bit.
Not because of you.
No, it's okay. I understand.
The past. It's too tempting to try and change. And when I did, it only caused pain and
That's what I'm trying to fix. I'm trying to make it so that the past won't hurt anymore.
the past is in the past, and it needs to stay that way. Shouldn't have gone back. Shouldn't have tried to change it at all. It would hurt less if I never did that. Now I saw their faces when I came. They were calling out for me. This is not something we should be messing with.
Kind of takes a step back a little bit and yeah, you're right. Of course,
I'm sorry.
no, please don't apologize.
I need to go think over things. We can talk more about this later, but I need to rest for a moment. And he'll walk off.
Kind of stands silently in the room for a moment, looking at her hands, and as much grief as she feels slightly emboldened.
Ooh.
She kind of clenches her fist and I did it. I actually did it. I'm getting stronger. It's working. She'll just close her eyes and just kind of be in herself in the moment for a while.
All right. This page savors her newfound mastery and prowess. I believe Paige also has some things she wishes to look into in the coming days as Malral recovers from his journey to the past and everyone else engages in their day-to-day affairs. Paige, what's going on with you? What?
Yeah, so probably definitely because she feels a little more emboldened because of this. She's kind of recalling things that have been happening recently, especially with Sylvana and the things that she's learning slowly about her past and about her time magic and also about what's going on with Cess. So she kind of resolves to dig into that a little bit more. Over the next few days, she's kind of jotting down notes, spending more time in her room and over her books until she compiles, a good list of what she wants to do. And through that, she'll kind of be packing a small bag throughout it before, when she has everything together, she'll kind of go downstairs and look for if Cess is. Oh no, Cess is not yet.
Cess is baby cat.
Okay, then she will go to Illya and see if Illya is around for a second.
Yeah, I imagine Ilya is probably just we'll say that she is just kind of in the general entryway and practicing the violin just quietly to herself. Currently just doing some tuning on it.
She kind of knocks quietly on the door. Illya?
Oh, what is it, Paige? Can I help you with anything?
Mm, no, not really. I just wanted to thank you for, well, everything everything you've done for me, and I couldn't really find Cess anywhere, so I was maybe hoping you could leave her a little note for me.
You know, if I wasn't even a little bit less wise, I would be not feel as worried as I do about this statement.
I
You're thanking me for my time and asking to leave a note? Darling, what's going on?
Oh, no, it's nothing to be concerned about. I just want to take a few days to go to Sharn. Um, to go back to my university. There's some things that I want to research and really look into. But I feel kind of nervous telling everyone I'm going.
Are you sure that you do not need any companion along the way?
No, no, it's okay. I feel like this is something that I have to do, and I mean it's just gonna be looking at books most of the time anyway.
I understand. I know that it's been a little bit of a pep in your step, at least in the last few days. Chase it a little, but just don't go too far.
No, no, of course not. I'm I'm taking my time, but I I think what I'm gonna do is really gonna help everyone. So I guess I'm a little excited.
Well, I am curious to know what it is that you are pursuing, but if it is a surprise, then I suppose I should be a good little girl and wait for your return.
I promise it's not much of a secret, but well, maybe it is.
So indecisive. I thought you were more confident.
Guess I'm just a little nervous is all, but no, I'm feeling confident. I'm feeling like I can do this, and I'll I'll be a lot smarter when I come back.
I'll be quite impressed if you can be a lot smarter considering where you already are at, but I understand. The search for knowledge is a tantalizing one.
Yeah. Um, she'll kind of go over and hand her just a small folded up note. It's just like heading to Sharn for a few days. You know, I'm gonna try to help you type deal, and I'll see you soon for Sass. Um, yeah. She's probably asleep. I didn't really want to wake her, so you can just give that to her whenever she's awake.
I understand. Take care of yourself. You know that you don't need to push yourself harder to be worthwhile to this group.
Mm. You know, Jubilee said something to me before she left. She said that I was going to be the strongest. And I want to live up to that. I, when she comes back, I want her to see that I've changed.
Jubilee was an inspiration for all of us, I suppose, so it doesn't seem like she felt the same way. And when I told her to do anything that it took to be strong enough, I guess she took that in ways that was not exactly preferable to all of us. But all I want to say is that you by yourself are enough, and we love you, and we care about you.
Thank you.
If you ever feel like you need to talk, you know that any of us would be here for you.
Appreciate it. No, I honestly do. That's why I want to do everything I can to help you too. So, I promise it'll only be a few days.
If I may, if you're going to go to research in your books, if you see anything about Fae spires, be interested. But I know that that's a bit of a rare topic.
Faye is definitely something I want to look into, so I'll definitely add that as well.
Perfect. I look forward to your return.
Okay. Thank you. I'll see you soon. She almost like instinctively almost goes out to like hug her, but kind of like stops for a second, like sorry. Yeah.
We can hug if you want. I have no problems with it.
It's
Hmm? Come here, and she'll just grab you and just give you a tight squeeze.
She'll hug her back.
Are you scared because of what happened last time?
I don't know. I don't want to be scared anymore.
Well, fortunately, you experienced the worst of the worst in terms of my memories. My life was a joyous one up until that day. So maybe you'd see something good if it came to pass.
Maybe soon we'll experience something better than that. We'll relive a wonderful memory instead.
Every day is a wonderful memory.
She'll give her another squeeze before backing up a little bit and giving her a small wave.
Stay safe. I know you will.
I will. I promise. I'll send a message if anything. So.
Thank you.
And I don't know how to confront him yet, but if you could check on Malral as well, just to make sure he's doing okay.
There's a lot of people here that need checking on, but I'll do my best.
See you.
Goodbye, Paige.
She will take off on towards the train.
Okay, you take the midnight train going anywhere, and by anywhere I mean Sharn, and by midnight I mean midday. So, yeah, you get your first little solo train ticket heading back to Sharn. It's the classic, it's a day and a half ride. Is there anything in particular you wish to do of note during your travel to the city again?
Not in particular. She's probably as much of a face that she put on in front of Illya. She's terrified to go by herself.
Adorable.
So,
Uh,
yeah, but yeah, she'll just be kind of inward in herself for a while until she gets there.
Okay. It feels weird, not even just sleeping alone, because you've gotten used to sleeping alone after the last several weeks in Greywall, but it's sleeping without any of your friends around is very surreal to you. Because this is literally the first time in months there. You've just been you, all alone, and you're on a train for the very first time ever without any of your friends or family with you. So it feels a little extra lonely on the way back. Um, but eventually you return to Sharn, and where would you like to go?
All right, she is going to just head straight for the university.
All right, you head to the upper towers. You get the minimal pushback from any guards or anything, since you are minor celebrities and you do actually attend this university. You're even wearing its uniform literally all the time. So, um,
She reps it all the time.
yeah,
It's
she's
like-
repping, always
it's like
wearing her
a little
USC sweatshirt. So yeah, you return to Morgrave. Arcane intelligence will appear in its translucent blue form before you and smile and wave and say, welcome back, Paige. Do you have anything that I can assist you with?
I'm actually looking for Professor Elmadon. Is she available?
Oh, yes, Professor Elmadon is currently inside of her office. She is attending to a visitor, but I have not received any authorization that it should prevent you from accessing her.
Then I would like to see her at her soonest convenience.
The kind of business dressed arcane intelligence, smiles and bows and will start floating towards her office.
I'll go ahead and follow.
All right. You eventually get to the office, and on the other side of the door, you hear a lot of like things being knocked over and stuff.
Hmm?
What do you do?
She's gonna go over and knock on the door. Be like, hello, is everything okay in there?
You hear something in Dwarven shouted in surprise. And you hear more things being knocked on the ground before after like a minute or so, you see the door kind of fly open and you see Coach with his shirt like misbuttoned, like slinging his jacket back on. As he oh, hey, it's good seeing you again, Paige. How's my sis? How's your sister doing?
She's doing wonderful, as I'm sure you two are.
I don't know what you're
I-
talking about there. I was coming in here to tell this fucking knife here, that I didn't wanna come near my gym anymore. Yeah. Fuck. You fucking don't come near me again, you leaf eater. Yeah. And he has a pair of shorts thrown at him as it smacks him in the face. Oh, yeah, I must have misplaced these when I was throwing books around.
Yes. I didn't see anything, I promise.
I know you didn't see nothing. You don't you fucking tell your sister about the nothing that you just saw.
I'm happy for you both.
I'm going to my gym. And he storms off, pockets his presumably underwear, putting it in a pocket. As you see, Professor Elbadon, like loosely or like trying to quickly clasp on her robes, but she's wearing them unusually like close buttoned than she usually does. Oh, Paige, what delight to see you here. So unexpected. Well, at least I thought that you would potentially be here a bit later.
Hey, that's strange. I usually assume that I'm always coming, or at least a version of me.
Well, yes, the version of you that I thought was going to be here had arrived a few hours later, a bit more of a panic, but I see that is not this version, so I guess we don't need to talk about your sister's death. What would you like to discuss?
Wait, what about the last part? What?
Oh, it's irrelevant. It's another timeline. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I actually wanted to talk about, well, if you're busy right now, we can wait, if you want to get, cleaned or
Oh no, do I look
si-
busy to you? As she's literally sitting on like her desk that has recently had all of its books and notes like swiped off and has numerous wet spots on it as she like tries to position herself sitting on it over the spots.
Oh, you must have spilled some water. I'm sorry.
Yes, you know how wet these offices tend to get. Yes.
You're right. The building is a little old. I'm sure there was some leaking, but
Oh
yes.
yes. I mean, indeed.
Yeah, well, I just wanted to ask some questions and get some thoughts from you about things that have been going on recently.
Oh, it's presumably about your connection to the timeline, isn't it?
Yes, actually, it is. And without, she'll probably just like info dump
Mhm.
on her. Probably spend the next like 15 minutes or so talking about the visions that she's seen and the temporal vision, and she'll probably briefly go over a little bit of what she's seen with Sylvana and Sess as well.
I can't believe you foolishly tried to bring somebody into their own past.
I know I feel like it was a little bit selfish for me, but I wanted to see if it would work.
Of course it can work, but you have to understand that when you are in control, you are a trained chronothurge. When you bring in others, they have an inevitable clash with their own memories and their own past. They will inherently disrupt the flow with their own impressions. And as you have discovered firsthand, when they inevitably try to intervene with it, the reactions are violent. You are, frankly, lucky that you were able to get them out of there. You could have trapped them in their own twisted, distorted timeline for all of existence.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't know.
Just be more careful. You have to understand, when you journey into the past, you have to take it as only a dispassionate observer. The more that the uninitiated try to react with it, the more the timeline will try to consume them.
Right. I see. Okay. No, I'll definitely be more careful. I promise.
Though it is deeply troubling that you have triggered so many instances of external chronal vision. It shouldn't be so in-depth or so spontaneously triggered by as many times as you have had. You clearly have a great sensitivity with the timeline. I knew that I chose wisely in enrolling you in this program, but this could have potentially very severe consequences for you if you are unable to fully control it.
That's why I'm here. That's why I'm trying to practice as hard as I can. I want to get better at it. And I want to know why it's occurring so often. I don't know. I see glimpses of people's past, of what they used to be, of the events that occurred in their life, and a lot of it feels so real, especially with Sylvana too.
Yes, that particular course is very troubling. Have you been and she kind of looks at you closely, and then she'll dart off of the desk and lift your chin up and kind of stare into your eyes as one of her glasses extends into a microscope looking at you. Have you been exposed to any kind of magical radiation?
Oh, radiation?
Yes, any kind of planar leaking or any kind of exposure to the morning or anything? Aside from your dalliances of the past, of course.
I suppose so. If we've been dealing a lot with the Seekers lately, and going into the Feywild, I guess a lot of that would have to do with it.
No, it seems to be something else. Upon survey, you definitely have been immersed in a fair deal of some kind of magical energy that I can't even deduce. Perhaps that is something to do with your particularly intense experiences you've had with your vision. But I could not grasp what was going on with your friend Sylvana. It seems very peculiar. I've never heard of such a thing.
Strange. I'm not sure I'm doing anything different, but guess that's something I'll have to try to observe more. But you'd never heard of anything like that, Project Hoped, or the anything pertaining to that, perhaps?
No, I can't say I have. Obviously, I've heard of House Valadas, but never anything associated with the Project Hope. Did you tell her, the full details of the Sylvana experience?
Probably that she just experienced that she went into her past and saw something, but not.
Okay, so you didn't tell her all the names aside from Project Hope.
Right.
Okay. That is important. Yes, I don't believe I've heard anything about that, but it seems from your description it was some kind of magical experimentation. Perhaps some kind of artifice? I do not know.
There was an artifice in the dream. Do you perhaps know a Leos? By any chance?
Leos who?
I believe it was Decanon, if I remember correctly.
Did you just say Leos to Kenneth?
Yes. Do you know them?
I knew of him. He was formerly Lord Artificer to the Kingdom of Seer. Personal advisor to the king. Helped lead the war production for House Cadith and supplying all of the needs of Seer during the war. I assumed he died during the morning.
Wait, how long ago was that?
Yeah, it was the morning, so I'm assuming about 4 years ago. Of course, nothing else was heard from him after those 4 years. Many died during the morning. It's a safe assumption. Truly a loss, though. He was a genius intellect. As was his wife, of course.
His wife?
Oh, yes, she was an alumnus of our school.
And what was her name?
What was... what was... Oh, yes. She was also an artificer. I believe her name was Myrmidia. Yes, maiden name was Myrmidia Oris.
Myrmidia Oris. Okay. And did she normally help him with his work?
I don't believe so. She was always involved in her own particular explorations. Truly a gifted student. She graduated here when she was 16 with two PhDs.
Oh, she must have been really smart then.
Yes, what did she study? She steps away from you and kind of flicks out her hand, and you see a series of scrying screens float up around her as she starts muttering some arcane phrases, and they light up. And yes, she had a degree in autonomous locomotive constructs and a second degree in in planar metaphysics with a specialization in multiversal cosmology.
And you saying she was studying other planes?
Yes, she loved the study of other planes. But she somewhat disappeared off the face of the earth a few decades ago.
And no one knows what happened to her?
I believe she died during the war, but I don't know particularly how. But she hadn't been in the public eye for quite some time before that.
Because she was his wife, or?
Oh, assuming what I can see about Myrmidia's time in Morgrave, she was always pursuing her work. What it was, I don't know. She never released any papers or anything after leaving.
So you're saying that she may have been working on something due to the shifts in the plane, or in the planes? That's so interesting. I didn't know that. I wonder what she was working on, though.
I wish I knew what she was working on. It's truly a loss for Artifice and for Arcane Academia as a whole that she stopped contributing to the greater discourse. It's such as the things I assume happens to married people. I wouldn't know. Men are, of course, a burden upon the spirit and the intellect.
Not upon, I suppose not upon the body, though.
Oh, well, you know what they say. Even if your legs work properly, a chair can be a right enjoyable sit.
She kind of blushes a little bit. I see. I wouldn't really know, but anyways, speaking of Arlena, do you know anything in particular about the Delkira?
Delkira? Do you mean the Delkir?
Yes.
Oh, what would you want to know about the Delkia? They're vile creatures.
I think Cess has been messing around with it a little bit. She says it's fine, and I do want to believe her, but I just want to know if it's safe. I want to know if maybe there's something I need to know more about it, or...
I knew if anyone was going to be playing with the Delkia, it would be your erstwhile sister. Clearly, she is quite as dumb as I assumed she was.
Huh? Dumb? No, of course she's not. She's... What do you mean by that?
She goes, the Delkia are various enigmatic creatures that live in the very depths of this world. They're twisted abominations in the best scenarios, and downright corrupting fonts of madness at the worst. Some believe that they can control their powers and use their bioarcana to make various physical enhancements. Particularly the dwarves are notorious for it, but I assure you that such things have not been thoroughly researched and at minimum are likely a path to insanity and corruption.
Have you heard of anyone who's been able to control it, who's worked with it and knows that they can overcome it? It can't all be bad, right?
I assure you, even used in the most benign ways, it is always going to cause some sort of irreparable harm and mutation. The best thing you could hope for is that you die of natural causes before that happens.
Thank you for letting me know. I'm gonna try to talk with her about it then.
You'll fail, I already know that, but if you still feel the need in wasting your time trying to convince your idiotic sister to the likewise before her death, then well, more power to you.
Came in. You saw her death.
I've seen her die many times. She inevitably does, at greater, lesser points, but that's hardly surprising based on her particular personality, of course.
She's a bit reckless, yeah. I guess that's why I'm trying to help her. I don't want to see her die so soon. I mean, not unnaturally, of course.
Paige, you are a gifted wizard, and you will be one of the finest chronothurgers I've ever trained. But you mustn't let yourself be burdened trying to look after your disaster of a sibling. She will only ever weigh you down.
I don't know about that. I mean, she's the only family I have. We've relied on each other so much.
She kind of shrugs and she goes, I, of course, cannot tell you what to do. I simply assure you that I have seen this enough times and discussed this enough times with you that I can tell you she will only ever break your heart and leave you worse than where you began.
Right. Yeah. I know. You've mentioned that. I understand. But thank you at least for the insight. I at least have some more knowledge I didn't have before.
Paige, before you leave, I must warn you. since you seem to be having a somewhat cavalier attitude with your chronal visions and tampering with the past, I must assure you, you should never go more than a few seconds into the future. While the past has already happened, you're dealing with potentialities which are chaotic in the best of terms and will inevitably lead you down roads that will be too dangerous for you to return from. Do not do it.
Look into the future? But you've done it before. Why would I not be strong enough? Why wouldn't I be able to?
You're too invested. The future is a mercurial pool to explore, and the deeper your investment in the particularities of outcomes, the more difficult you will find it to ever be able to find certainty.
I would just need to detach myself from the situation, right?
I don't think you're ready for that, Paige. We've only barely begun to skim the surface of viewing into the past. You already know what happens when you try to tamper with what has already been done. What do you think will happen when you try to tamper with what will be?
No, I understand. I won't do it. At least not yet. I want to be able to do it like you do. To be as strong as you are.
I got this far, my dear, by knowing my limits and only approaching a new phase when I was ready for it. While I did not share your seemingly natural connection to the time flow, I assure you that we will get there when we get there, and you are not ready.
Ears a little bit. No, you're right. I know I'm not. I'm trying to get ahead of myself. I just barely was able to look into the past, but maybe that connection that you're talking about, maybe that can help me. I know not right now, but I want to look into that more too, to try to find what you're referring to.
Please be careful, my dear. I assure you that as you currently are, you simply are too involved with the present and with the potentiality of what will be. As long as you maintain these connections, you will inevitably find yourself limited in your ability to interact with and shape the timeline. But I believe in you, and I know in time you will see my truth. Just a matter of... She kind of leans in conspiratorially and goes, time.
Right, of course. Losing connections. Okay. I understand. But thank you always. You've been a big help today. I don't know if there's anything else I have to ask, but I do want to do a bit more research. Especially this artificer that you had mentioned and his wife. I wonder if there's any more information about them.
Well, he was famous enough. I'm sure that if you were to go to the The House Cadith wing of the university. There'd be something about him, but other than what his wife may have studied while she attended, I don't know what else she left behind aside from her papers.
I'd like to at least be educated on what she was looking at, but thank you. That's a great help. Uh, he he's probably already gone, but I can try to call him back if you needed to spend some more time with the coach.
Oh, please! Like, I would want that lumberfoot stumbling around my office once more, reeking up the place with his musky shirts and that vile beard.
Right, of course. Okay then, but I'll, uh, I'll probably be here for another day or so. If I get any more questions, I'll probably come and ask you.
Of course. I apologize for being short, but I'm always delighted to see you, my dear, and I always wish you the best. I do have your best interests at heart.
No, of course. I mean, I wouldn't think otherwise. Not at all. You've
She'll
been.
lean in to give you a hug.
Hmm. She goes and hugs back. I want to make you proud, and I'm going to.
She smiles and goes, I am already proud of you, Paige.
Thank you. All right. I'll see you soon. I'm gonna try to do some more research.
Hopefully next time it'll be on better terms.
Yes, of course. All right. Goodbye. Chill.
Ta-da!
Mhm.
As you leave, you do see, Coach just like punching a tree on the school grounds, grumbling to himself.
She kind of giggles and just keeps walking.
And as he sees you leave, he looks at the office door and starts slinking back.
Got him.
All right, what would you like to do next?
Ooh, okay. She wants to see if any of kind of go in Sylvana's area of expertise over in the more to see if any maybe of her teachers are around, or if she can, if there's any students, maybe she'll kind of ask around to see if people know of Sylvana and maybe have like been friends with her growing up or something around there.
Yeah, you ask around, and nobody's heard of Sylvana.
What?
And like an arcane intelligence informs you that nobody by the name of Sylvana Lale has attended Morgrave in modern records.
Oh, huh? She's thoroughly. What? Are you sure? Absolutely positive. She'll like even spell out the name and like
Yeah.
write it on a piece of paper.
Yeah, the the intelligence kind of looks at you, holds up a spectral like notepad, flips over some papers and goes, I'm sorry, Miss Page, but nobody by the name of Sylvana Lale has ever attended this university. Nobody by the name of Lale has either. Although there have been a few Sylvanas.
Yeah. Really strange, but okay, thank you. And she'll just kind of walk away completely dumbfounded. She kind of has to take a few moments to kind of gather herself and to think back at the dream and her interactions with Sylvana. And she's like, but she said she was here. doesn't make any sense. She'll kind of take that information that she has and take her teacher's advice and head to the Caneth wing, because obviously that has some sort of connection to both of the things that she's looking for. And maybe scouring, seeing if she can find something related to, doubtful of anything about the hope, or maybe like the phrase "the last stand" somewhere, like integrated in any of their like work or something like that.
Yeah, as you enter the very opulent House Caneth wing, because House Caneth is one of the wealthiest out of all the dragon marked houses, it of course is, lots of materials about the history of House Caneth, about the, all of the wondrous magical things they've created over the centuries that have embittered all of Cover, the advent of the lightning rail, the advent of the Warforged, and the creation of, the various forms of Warforged, and all of the wonders that they created. But there is not a single mention of the last stand anywhere.
Then she'll probably try to see if she can find papers about Leos's wife, maybe what particular she was working on before her disappearance.
Yeah, you see some mentions of like more obviously like modern notes and stuff about famous members of House Caneth, and there is about 60 years ago there was the marriage between what would become Lord Artificer Leos de Caneth and Myrmidia Oris, but basically after a few years, Myrmidia disappeared from public life, and there's no more notes about her. There's continued notes about Lord Leos's close connections with the Siren throne, and that he was put in charge of the whole Siren weapons program during the war, and for implementing Warforged on a grand scale, and always developing new and more powerful types of Warforged and weapons. But aside from like newspaper articles and stuff about his latest achievements, or the like what is essentially marketing materials about him and given by him, there really isn't much. And then obviously he is listed as one of the tragically deceased, lost during the mourning and the destruction of Seer. But so obviously there's nothing later than 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Okay. It also might be a little bit of a stretch.
Okay.
But she'll probably spend what she can of the day probably in the libraries, in that particular wing. She's trying to see if she can find the mark that was on Sylvana's hand, if she can find any sort of matching resemblance to that, and if it has any particular meaning of some kind.
Okay. From what you see, there could be a lot of things, because it was pretty hazy when you saw it. Could be some kind of tattoo, like a mystical tattoo. It could be some kind of, birthmark. It doesn't seem to be a birthmark. It seems to be obviously something of a magical connection. And like obviously there's things like, there's dragon marks, like with what Cliff supposedly had, but it didn't really look exactly like that. So it's it seems to probably be some kind of runic insignia, or maybe arcane tattoo, but it was also on what was seemingly a spirit form of someone. So there doesn't seem to be any direct connections between something that would exist on a disembodied form, unless it was something of very close connection to that person's identity or something. But aside from that, it is very difficult to find.
She is probably by the end of the day, her head on a desk, just exhausted with too much knowledge, but not enough knowledge.
There is one other thing you will find in your delvings. You do find the dissertation written by Myrmidia Oris for her planar degree, and it was theorizing that there is untapped potential energy that can be utilized by the intersections between planes. And being able to recreate that kind of experience. Like if the fire plane and the airplane are close together, they can create like smoke methods and stuff, basically by the mixing of the planes. And she theorized that that is harnessable and that it has a potentially unlimited level of complexity to it. Like it could be infinitely extended across all planes if given the proper channeling, but it's in theoretical terms, since it doesn't seem to be physically possible to recreate.
Okay. If she can get a copy of that, she would definitely take it. Do they have scanners?
Yeah, I guess an Arcane Intelligence can create a new one. Create a copy of it to send you.
Yeah, so you'll copy machine.
Yeah, it's very confusing to you because this isn't your area of specialty, but that's kind of the gist you get from it.
Okay.
From what's it called? That like area at the beginning of academic papers. God, I can't remember what it's called, but literally that, like the one paragraph synopsis. It's the beginning of every academic paper.
The abstract.
The abstract. That's it. Our token academic. But yeah, so the abstract basically explains that. But yeah, they could give you a copy of the abstract and of the paper.
Okay. All right. And I believe she'll... Anything else related to the Seekers? And also what Illya had asked her about the Fae Spires as well.
Okay.
But if that's like all she can muster in a day, then they can be like, oh, the next day she like...
Yeah, that would be all you can muster in a single day. You basically did the entire day here reading and talking to people and stuff. Your head is full of fizzles.
Yes, she needs to calm down.
The next day you can learn, you basically learn from, it's mostly like newspaper articles and editorials about the Seekers, just talking about their terrorist attacks and that they are disavowed by the Church of the Silver Flame. They have been known to operate in every kingdom. They're very bigoted. They're infamous for being attributed for the killings of shifters and changelings in Sharn during the what's it called, that day celebrating the martyrdom of the priests of the Silver Flame during the Silver Crusades, and they would routinely come back to Sharn to murder shifters and changelings during that holiday, and it has been formally announced as of a recent news article by the cardinals of Thrain and the Silver Flame that the Seekers have been wiped out once and for all, although they may still be tracking down rogue elements. But while they have provided no physical proof, they have asserted that they have killed the Seeker, who originally from the old lore had come out of nowhere, seemingly obscurity, and created this fanatical cult around herself, and could never be found. the Fey Spires, you get some lore about how they're portions of the Feywild basically ripped out of the Feywild and brought into the material plane, and in turn became kind of locations where mortal Fey would live and congregate. One of them was destroyed many years ago by the Seekers in a mass terrorist attack that killed a significant amount of mortal Fey beings that they attributed it as basically tainting and destroying the material plane with their otherworldly essence. But they are locations that tend to create direct connections between the material plane and the Feywilds.
Okay. Whew. It's a lot. It's a lot.
You got a lot of info.
A lot of info, but that's good. But I need something. Okay. All right. Trying to make sure there is nothing I'm overlooking. She's making the most out of this trip.
Yep. Yeah, she's getting all the lore she can.
Yes. I mean, she can be back if she needs to, but
Anything else before you leave?
She'll probably. That might be all of the information that she'll try to gather.
Yeah.
But she does want to at least stop by one of the mom and pop's pizza places
Okay.
and
Get some
and grab
pies.
get some pies for the house. And I didn't say previously, but she would have slept at her old house
Aw.
the night before. And maybe have gotten, a little trinket that was left over from her house. And one of Cess's as well.
Okay.
Before, yeah, I think with all of that information, she'll start to head back then.
All right. As you head on back to Greywall, we are gonna flash over to Illya.
All right.
I believe there was something you wanted to do.
Yes, there was. Attempt to do being the keyword. Um, but since at this point, between Fay Day having come and gone, as well as a all the other activities that have happened, it's probably been, I would say, a week and a half since we've seen Asharan. Uh, so I think Illya, as similar to what Sess tried, is going to just kind of bring some food over to there and just kind of going to set it down and then knock on the door and wait to see, just on the off chance.
There is no response.
Sharn, it is me.
No response.
I I feel it necessary to ask, even though I know that there will be no response, to make sure that you are at least hanging in there.
You hear a crack kind of hoarse voice say, "Leave."
We were in the paper.
I don't care. Just leave.
No, I don't think that I will.
Silence.
After all, the shadow hunter always finds their mark, don't they?
I guess.
Have you eaten?
Doesn't matter.
Do you want to die?
Silence.
If you don't want to die, then you must at least want to live. That's not what you're doing.
Silence.
You know, I remember just a few short weeks ago, before we made our excursion out to right the wrongs of the Seekers, that certain someone said to me that my bonds made me weak. I don't feel very weak right now. Even when she did invade my mind.
You hear some stifled crying from the other side of the door.
Hmm. I know. I know that you've never been one to hold on to a good feeling. If you've felt a good feeling in the vast majority of your life, but you do deserve to feel that way, to feel happy.
No, I don't.
She's gone. You must at least know that.
She's never gone. You heard what she said. She's a part of us forever.
Everyone that we meet, that we love, hate, or anything in between, they stay with us forever.
I don't want this. I never
Then-
wanted this.
Then what do you want?
I want to stop feeling this way.
In a way, I suppose feeling is a step up from what I was told you would be like.
Just can't stop thinking about it. After so long, I thought I was stronger. I was wrong.
You sound just like me. After Jubilee left us, I thought that I was stronger. Being Fru, being Fruling, being the Shadow Hunter, or being me, being Illya. And well, I did fall to an influence just for a brief moment. As torturous as that moment may have been. I guess in that way I was at least a little bit stronger than I was before.
I wasn't. After so long, the moment she got close to me again, it was just like back then, and I couldn't stop anything.
It is okay to be weak.
No, it's not!
You've never had the chance to be weak.
If you're weak, this is what they do to you. And you
Then why
can't do
am
anything about it.
then why am I not worse off than you?
You hear a kind of slump against the other side of the door, and they go, "Guess you were stronger than me all along."
Darling, I've never been strong. My confidence may lead you to believe that I feel strong, but for 75 years, I was the pretty, pretty princess in a palace, drinking tea, reading books, and playing music to entertain guests. Then, as you know, everything came crashing down. So, I did what I thought was right and compartmentalized it away from my entire being. Because how? How could that version of me be strong enough to handle the road ahead of her? And I wasn't. Plain and simple, I was not. I put on the front that I was. I hunted so many people down and saw so many lives end before my eyes. Never once did I feel strong. Felt nothing. Cold. When I say that it is okay to be weak, I say that because it is okay to know that there can be something better.
There is nothing better. You, you, you didn't have your whole life defined by her.
No, I did not.
I I don't even know what my name was. I don't know what my parents were like or who they were. My entire life has been defined by her. And the only thing that I ever had going for me was the day that I was able to leave, and then the moment I returned, it was just like I was a child again, and I just had to do anything she wanted, and I could still feel her radiance against my skin.
I am so sorry that you were never able to have the childhood that anybody deserves. And we will never be able to get that back. But staying inside the room, wasting away, the child you could have been does not deserve that. I don't expect you to just magically get over this. God knows I did not get over it very well my first go around. But the important thing is to try. Try to be better and to try to find happiness in what you have left for you. It's incomparable, but the people I lost are gone, and they will never come back. The price that I paid to love them was the loss that I experienced. But I wouldn't trade that for anything. Because I deserve to try again. Just as you do.
You hear a kind of soft, kind of whimpering voice on the other side say, "You know what I've done, and you've seen what I look like. Why would anybody ever want a happy memory with me?"
Because underneath all the scars lies a person that cares. You would not feel as strongly as you did for her downfall if you did not feel didn't and cared about all of that. I don't expect you to just magically flip a switch and get over this. All I'm asking is for you to try to believe in not us, but yourself. Because a seeker, she does not define who we are anymore. She has no power. We have that power. You have that power. You may not believe it, but it is inside you.
Um, you hear the door crack open slightly as you see a bloodshot silver eye looking between the cracks at you. And you hear Sharn say, "What if, what if she was right about me? What if I really am just the Ashen Blade? What if I am just what she made me and everything else is a lie?"
You define who you are, not her. And if there's nothing that you feel is truly you in this moment, we'll help you find it. That comfort, that feeling of belonging. I know you felt it at least a little bit with the Church as a Silver Flame.
Keeper made me feel like there was a chance to make things right. And
You did make things right.
I didn't do anything. I couldn't do anything. You all did things.
Whatever story your brain is trying to tell you says that you did not contribute. is just plain old wrong. Don't listen to that. That's her talking. We couldn't have done it without you. We never would have had the opportunity without you. That you can't deny yourself. We never met, never gone on that fake operation with you, there's no way this would have happened. You made that happen.
There's only about a single tear that's left to come out of their eyes at this point. Looks like this. It runs down the tunnels that have been kind of carved into Asharan's face from when they clawed at their own eyes after having the Seeker influence them again. And that kind of rivet going down their face is where that tear goes. It goes, why does it even matter to you what happened anymore with me? I've done what I could for you. I don't have anything left to give. I'm not worth it. Why does it even matter to you people?
You know, if you would have asked me the question, then I still had on the persona of Fruling, I don't think you would have liked the answer. But you matter to us because you've helped us, because you were there for us. There's no logical reasons that we care for one another other than just the desire to belong. And so you were denied the ability to feel like you truly deserved that. No reason you don't deserve to try. Do you know how hard this is for you? I know Sess in particular has been worried sick about you. If you want to ask why she feels that way, I think it's because all of us feel a little bit lost. At times. So when we know that you feel lost, just want to make sure that you know that you have a home with us.
They crack open the door some more and kind of stand up, and you see that they look very emaciated. Their face is very gaunt, and the only thing that's like lit up about them is the fact of how bright and reflective their eyes are. Not the dead eyes they usually give you, but something of just a very scared child. And then the radiant glow coming off of angelic symbols that have been burned onto their hands and on their chest as they are in their true changeling form. And the room behind them has been thrown into disarray, and you see a shrine to the silver flame that's been kind of passed over and formed very much like a little fort where this bed has been set up with like a dresser around it to just be very claustrophobic and containing.
There you are. Happy to see you.
And they kind of nervously try to like put their like shirt tighter together, and like they're kind of wringing their hands to cover the symbols.
It's okay. Little bands of misfits that we are. We all have a burden to bear. We all love you for who you are.
And kind of nervously look at you, and they go, "What will only ever hurt you? It's all I do to anyone."
You never did get to hurt me.
I I thought that if I ever did, I would finally be pure enough in her eyes to be worth redemption.
You know that nothing ever would have been enough.
Maybe I just do you think there can ever be redemption for what I've done?
Yes, of course. They'll be right here by your side.
And with that, Asharan just rushes you and just grabs you and starts sobbing against you.
She'll hold her back, but be very kind of like slow about, wrapping her arms around them. Just because they know how they've been, being like very softly, and they'll just slowly start to like pat them a few times.
They shiver at first, um, and kind of twitch as you touch them at first, but they seem to be amenable.
It's all right, and she'll take like just some general like honestly some sweat just because of how scared she was to have this conversation. Just shape the water into her hands and kind of slowly and coolly rub her back with the water, trying to make sure it's as calming as possible. Sharn, if you, I don't know if the name Asharan is one that she gave to you. If you want to leave it behind, to forge your own path, we'll be here for you.
They look up at you. A little puffy, bloodshot silver eyes. And they say, Sharn was the name I chose. It was the first thing mine I was allowed to keep. And I made it so that I would remember where I came from. But that I was taking responsibility, even if I wasn't ready to deal with it all.
Just lovely name. It'd be a sign of your conviction. Hope. For your future. Ones that you will carve just yourself.
You really think there's a future for someone like me?
No one is truly beyond redemption. While I may not be proud of all the horrible things that I may have done, that is at least something I feel like I can hold on to. There is room for those who deal in the night and take lives. Find something smaller, more simple, happy. We may never truly erase what it is that burned us, scarred us. But we deserve to try.
They look up at you and realize what they're doing, and they kind of pull back from you, kind of reflexively, and they look back at you and they go, "Does everyone hate me for what I did?"
No. Never heard one mean word about you in my time here. They all simply wish for your well-being.
They look at the food you brought, kind of wring their hands some more and go, "Could you bring me some grilled cheese?"
I will kick Lily out of the kitchen so that Cess can make you a proper grilled cheese. Because you deserve it.
And they kind of do a slow nod as they start to eat. And with that, we will conclude Illya's time with Asharan. And eventually, Paige will return to the house. Paige, you wish to
Yep.
say anything to anybody before you guys get your next mission?
Oh, hey, it's got a lot to say. Maybe too much to say. Don't know who to address first. Um. Hmm. I think she'll go talk to Sylvana.
Okay. Okay.
Uh, or is that, I don't know if that's a longer 20-minute conversation.
Up to you. You know you have 20 minutes.
Okay. Actually, she'll go. Well, first of all, she's got the pies, so she's gonna kind of
Pizza time.
yes, gradually call everyone into the dining area. You're
Okay.
like, yeah, you're like, I've got a surprise for everyone. Everyone wants to come in and have something to eat.
Malral comes in, still seemingly a bit quiet.
You notice
Is this the same night as Asharan and me talking, or is it different?
Sure.
Okay, I was gonna.
You notice a rather bedraggled and emaciated Asharan comes down as well, and they are in their true changeling form for the first time consensually. And they appear to be like a quartered animal. They are so fearful looking.
Grilled cheese and pizza in one night. Perfect way to find comfort.
I don't
Two of
think this
them.
is a particularly nutritious dinner.
I also don't see any grilled cheeses, just pizza.
Oh, what's this?
Yeah.
Sharn asked for your grilled cheese.
Asharan, did you ask for grilled cheese?
Sharon's eyes get very wide.
Oh, right. Illya, can you ask Asharan if they said that?
You do not need to go through me. Sharn, go ahead.
Yes, I thought it would be nice. I didn't know we were getting pizza. I'm sorry for asking.
Think it's a great idea. What's wrong with more cheese, right?
Pizza and grilled cheese.
There's
And
nothing wrong. Do not ever apologize for asking for food. I should also make some garlic bread to go with all this, I guess.
Yes, please.
Euphoria says this is not really nutritious, but it has also basic food groups, no?
I think we are distinctly missing vegetables, for one thing.
I can fry a potato real quick.
That
Has spinach
does
on
not
it.
count.
I'm pretty sure it has olives or something.
I do not like the taste of this circular dish.
What do you
More for
mean?
others then.
You know, it's okay to have something non-nutritious every once in a while, Euphoria. You don't have to always be in tip-top shape.
That's where you're wrong, darling.
I doubt a night of pizza would do anything for your form, Euphoria.
Oh, you're so sweet, Paige.
This is Larissa is already, like cheese chain deep onto a pizza.
This just comes back out with garlic bread, tomato soup, french fries, and a salad because Euphoria wouldn't stop complaining about it.
She will happily eat the salad, and she will have a slice of pizza, but she eats it with a knife and fork.
Oh, what a classy
Oh.
lady.
Yeah.
You never have pizza with Jubilee or Magnolia?
Where? I mean, I've had pizza before, but I try not to let the girls have too much junk food. You have too many carbs and, it can, slow you down.
Malral kind of just picks at his food, doesn't really eat much of it.
You a picky eater? Do I gotta make you a salad too?
I do not have an appetite right now.
Paige's ears lower again.
Not feeling well?
No.
Well, we can always save some in the pantry for tomorrow. Is this why you went to Sharn, by the way, sis? Just to get pizza? Because, like, I know it might not have occurred to you, but you can always make pizza too.
I know, but I mean, nothing's as good as someone's back home, right? I was feeling a little homesick, I suppose.
Oh. Yeah, I guess that's fair.
I mean, I didn't go there just for pizza. I got a few other things too.
It's cool. Don't worry about it. And so sort of like absentmindedly feeds herself and the jacket a pizza. I'm assuming Spike is comfortable eating, but still refuses to talk to anybody else.
Yeah, your jacket will open a big fangy maw as it slurps down a pizza.
Paige expression just hardens.
Does your jacket normally eat at the table?
He's part of the They're part of the family, okay? Says it very clearly like a dog eats at the table, not at the whatever dogs eat at on the floor.
Is cheese good for
Apparel?
Apparel?
I don't know. They seem to like it.
Just be sure
And
to
like
feed
says
it
tries to like
Just be sure to feed it fabric softener, or else it will have some trouble later.
I'll be fine. And like says tries to feed him some of the salad that she made, and like Spike actively refuses it.
Yeah, you see it come out another sleeve.
I guess he likes pizza. I guess they like pizza.
Happy to have you back, so Paige.
I'm glad to be back. You've done a lot recently. I felt like a nice dinner, would help calm some nerves and get us pumped for whatever's gonna be next, right?
Dinner together as a complete family. Time in a while that we've all been in one room.
We shouldn't make this such a rare occurrence.
The pizza?
Man, eating together, being together.
I guess it's fair. I mean, we mostly eat together, give or take one or two people who just aren't feeling well. I thought. Guys, is my head canon?
Your headcanon is canon, but probably not for the last few weeks. Considering Asharan's been gone for 2 weeks.
That's why I said one or two people who aren't feeling well. I guess tonight it's Malral's turn on the whole, stomach ache trip.
Either way, I'm just happy to see all of you.
And with that, you guys can have some pizza, and we will end it here for tonight. Bum.
Pizza. I was debating having a moment where Says rolls up one entire pizza pie and chugs it down.
unhinges her jaw like an anaconda.
Yeah. She's eating for two.
My goodness.
May your first child be a masculine child.
It's a pit bull.
But thank you, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the emotional turmoil of tonight between time travel, weird investigations into the secrets of your friends and family, and then the traumatic changeling hours. We will end with a happy pizza before we pick up next time when our plucky group of parties gets their next quest, the Heart of Darkness. If you haven't done so already, please give all of these wonderful people a follow on the exclamation point players. They are all amazing people. You should go check them out. In addition, you could do exclamation point D&D. Does the YouTube where I have a dedicated YouTube of just every episode of this show that's ever been streamed so far. And I also post them on my main channel. If you haven't done so already, please give me a follow here on Twitch, a sub over on YouTube, a follow on Twitter, and you can join my Discord, the Eternal Citadel, and be a part of my incredible community. I'll be back here on Wednesday to play the CD key I just got for a game called Shardpunk Verminfall, which looks pretty darn cool. So I'm excited to do that. It's like a steampunk versus Skaven kind of game, like XCOM Darkest Dungeon. So be sure to come on by Wednesday for that. Otherwise, I hope you had fun. I hope my wonderful players had fun. And if you are a follower, please copy down the call to hugs. And if you're a sub, please copy down the Knight's message. As we're going to go raid somebody we haven't raided in a while. There we go. Let's try to copy the message. We're going to go raid Belle Dandy. She stopped by earlier, so let's go raid her. Playing The Forest with one of their friends. This damn Twitch streamers with their incredibly long names, making my life hard. Belle Dandies. T House. Did I get that right? Damn it, I didn't get it right. Give me 1 second. I'm a disaster.
Got a copy and
Channel
paste
not
it.
found.
I know. I copied it down wrong. Because I am a joke.
Just like me, for real.
Just like me for real.
Just like me, for real.
Illiteracy is part of this household. We
Yep.
all are.
I'm not a reading comprehension kind of gal. But, alright everybody, I hope you had a wonderful night, and I hope you have the sweetest of dreams. Bye!
Bye.